and just given some thought about the parable that Jesus gave us, talking about 10 virgins. 5 were wise, 5 were foolish, because 5 were not prepared for the eventual reality that the bridegroom may delay. And so, as it's described as just going through life. In other words, it says they were waiting for the bridegroom to come, and they slumbered and they slept until the bridegroom came. And to me, that's just life, just living life. 5 of them were aware that somewhere along the line, there's going to be a requirement of them to be prepared. And so the scripture that Jesus sums all of this up with, watch therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour when the Son of Man cometh. So this is watch. And so as I just spent some time just meditating on this and just giving it some thought, I thought about, okay, I had the responsibility to be wise concerning my spiritual self. And of course, that has to do with my spiritual condition, my relationship with God, my ability to talk to God because I have confessed my sins and asked Him to forgive me my sins, to come into my heart and save my soul. And now I have a dialogue with Him because I've dealt with the issue of sin in my life. I've made my confession. I've asked God to forgive us, or forgive me. So now I talk to God. And I talk about the situations and problems in life. And I can talk to Him about my spiritual soul and my spiritual life. So now, as I begin to put some meat on the bones as far as my own understanding of spiritual things, I think of this scripture that says that where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So that tells me that I need to deal with the issue of my treasure. In other words, at what level of importance do I place my treasure? Especially when it comes to be in comparison to how I view the value of my spiritual life and my spiritual condition, and my equipping myself to be prepared for the eventuality of the coming of the bridegroom. And so that's why the admonition is to watch, be prepared, be thinking about it, give it some thought. Ask yourself, what percentage of my time do I give in the pursuit of my spiritual life and my spiritual development? And to what degree do I hold on to my treasure? How important is my treasure in my everyday thinking? In other words, would I be willing to give some of it away? You remember, that's what Jesus challenged the one that we call the rich young ruler. He said to that man, he says, take everything you have and give it away. Just give it away. Don't be encumbered by your treasure. Don't allow your treasure to keep you out of a life eternal in the spiritual realm, in the case that the bridegroom should call you home. This is Pastor Jack King with a gospel on the radio broadcast.